Hi, everyone. So tonight I want to start by describing the first of the 9 energy centers slash core motivators. And so the first one, the one that we'll be talking about tonight, is called divine compassion, or if you use the core motivator terminology, it is termed the community builder. So people who are primary in this energy center of divine compassion slash community builder are people who are really um, strong in what I think of as tribal energy. So these are the people that are really grounded in belonging to groups or communities, tribes, so groups and communities. And they're really grounded not only in the sense of belonging to a particular group of people, but they're also really geared toward taking action within this group. And so people that are primary in this energy center are really good. They excel at identifying the needs of people in the group and then figuring out how to tend to those needs. So these people are really very empathetic. They're highly engaged. They are able to engage and interact with people on an individual level within a group. And they are able to do so in a way that they can really understand what each person within the group needs and figure out how to make sure that those needs are taken care of. So their role is really, that social glue that's holding together and making a group cohesive and making sure that everybody's taken care of, and that whatever the purpose or the goal of the group is, that forward momentum is continuing. And so, people with divine compassion, these community builders, they're really driven by a strong sense of mission to help groups, to help communities thrive. And, this can show up in a lot of different settings. I mean, certainly family is a big one where, these community builders are really thriving in building and taking care of their family and all of that. But some people, instead of directing their tribal energy, their gifts and their talents surrounding this energy, instead of doing so in the context of family, they might instead show up in this role in work organizations or community organizations. And so, you can think about different groups that all surround a common mission or a common cause, social justice groups, things like that. So community builders oftentimes show up in the context of family, but not always. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention last night when I was kind of giving the overview of the energy centers slash core motivators is that while these describe our inherent or our innate, what I call our divine gifts or our strengths, they also put us at risk for some dysfunction, right? So no matter what group your primary energy center is, there is, if you will, the positive polarity, which is the highly functional expression of those characteristics, those ways of going out in the world and creating and contributing your gifts. There's also the negative polarity or the dysfunctional aspect. And so for the people whose primary is in compassion slash community building, the inherent risk for people whose primary in this group is that these people are really at risk for having some pretty poor boundaries. to the extent that they can easily slip into losing their sense of self. And so what do I mean by that? So this draw, this calling to become part of a group and to take care of the needs of the group and to really be pushing along the agenda and making sure that all of the needs are taken care of, um, by the community builders being really called to do this, they are at risk of doing so to the extent that they forget about their own needs. So that's what I mean by having some poor boundaries, losing that sense of self. So this longing, this calling, this draw to belong and to be accepted and to contribute, is really putting these people in the situation of wanting to do whatever they can to avoid a sense of isolation. And so oftentimes the challenge, particularly in the coaching realm with people who have this as their primary energy center, is that it can be, there can be some resistance in really helping these people see where they're overgiving and having those poor boundaries. And so in the extreme dysfunctional aspect of this primary energy center, these people are the ones that are really, slipping into a lot of self-sacrifice and at the most extreme, even martyrdom. And so, it's really important to, if this is your primary, to have this awareness that, the groups and the relationships that you participate in, to do so to the extent where you're giving, but you're also receiving. That balance is really important. And then if those relationships are not balanced in a functional way, to think about in dissociating from those, not that that is creating a sense of isolation, but rather by letting go of groups or relationships that are imbalanced, one is instead creating that space to then go in and build new relationships or to find different groups to belong to so that there can be reestablishment of that balance where that person's contributions are being valued and appreciated and where they're not being taken for granted. So people with divine compassion, the community builders, really beautiful, beautiful people to be around. And I think that we are just so fortunate to have people among us with this primary energy center that are really out there making our experiences richer and better. So there you go. That's my take on the first energy center, divine compassion, the beautiful, beautiful community builders. Nice talking to y'all, and I'll see you tomorrow night when we cover the second energy center. Bye.